Yo, welcome everyone to this absolutely fantastic call or video that we have right here. We have one of our Agent Velocity Mastermind members, Borislo, an absolute stud living in Denmark. And he has had some really, really great success with his agency through the past 12 months. And today I'm just going to ask him questions about how he did it. So maybe you can also learn something about it. Fantastic to have you here, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. It's a wonderful day in Copenhagen. Uh, I've been kind of accepting this mentality where every day is the best day of my life. And this makes the whole work that we do easier. And I think everyone that's listening or watching this video is gonna relate to this as we go on that, everything is mindset. So yeah, I'm just having a wonderful day. Thank you for having me.
I love that. I love that. And I also agree. It's like fucking if you wake up and you get to experience another day, it's like how could it not? Because it's not guaranteed that you're gonna have another day. You know, it's like you can't ever guarantee it. So I think that's like a beautiful mindset to live life through. Fucking sick. Amazing. To get started, you want to do a quick breakdown of what kind of a business you run and who you are. Yeah, what you do.
Yeah, so I run a lead generation agency for software and SaaS companies specifically. And in the beginning, I was targeting more of European-based companies, but now we target global. So we come in and we develop the code outbound infrastructure for these software firms, specifically because why software? Because I'm passionate about software. And I decided when I started my journey was I want to be in that field. I want to make the connections and I want to make these people's lives easier. And you know for a fact that if you make someone's life easier, you get a really strong connection and bond with that person. So that's my way to get into the industry. Now, a bit of a backstory. I was studying software engineering in Bulgaria when I was 19. I'm 23 years now. I'm originally from Bulgaria. And it wasn't for me. So I had to drop out and move to Denmark. So the other end of Europe, literally without knowing anyone, by the way. I moved here without knowing anyone, without any connections. And it was from that point on for the last 3 years, I've just been grinding and trying everything I could just to make ends meet. And obviously, 1 year ago, I started the lead gen agency, and that completely transformed everything.
That's super fire. What were you doing? What were you trying out before going in the Legion for the first 2 years?
Yeah, so when I moved to Denmark, I was originally a nighttime courier, which is the shittiest job on earth. And alongside that, I was trying e-commerce actually. So e-commerce and video editing, because I do like cinematography. However, I realized that I wasn't solving a big problem. So what I was doing was nice. However, selling $10 gadgets, like drop shipping $10 gadgets was not it. So I wanted to fill a bigger gap and I tried e-commerce. I tried AI automations. Where I actually found about you is I, before I started the lead gen agency 1 year ago, I wanted to start an AI automation agency. And then I came across a YouTube video saying, don't do AAA, do LGA instead. And I was like, and that's the first video I saw from you. And that's everything after that is just history.
That's super fire. What about that video made you think, oh shit, like maybe that's not the path that I want to go down into?
Because you broke down the exact gap that we were filling. So what I noticed is that after doing research, 80% of startups have a problem with generating leads. And the majority of them don't even actually know who they want to target. Like you come into their business and you're like, okay, do you know who you sell to? They say no. And then you know you have a problem. And you
Yeah.
can solve that problem in exchange for your services and prices and whatnot. So yeah, you laid out a real problem that 80% of startups have. And I just realized, okay, like this is it.
100%. I know they like the craziest thing is not they really even only startups. It's like there's so many companies who are just growing through like referrals and word of mouth and all those things. And yeah, sure, that's good. But I think a lot of people are leaving money on the table by not doing outbound. And of course, like if you have never done outbound, it's pretty scary. It's like hard to do. So that's super sick. That's fire. One thing that I'm also really interested about, this is really not really related to anything, but why did you decide to go to Denmark?
Yeah, so full transparency, when I was in Bulgaria, when I dropped out of my software studies, I was dead broke and I couldn't land a job. in my own country, which kind of frustrated me. And I was okay, I want to move somewhere that is not Bulgaria. Let's just apply for a lot of different jobs. The moment I got the application from Denmark that I was accepted, I was like, I'm dropping everything. I'm just going there and starting a new life. And that
Damn.
actually was the best decision I ever took. And as I said, like I was 19 at the time, and I just dropped everything and moved to the other end of Europe. And I think the bravery and the character development that I experienced in these 3 years is what set me on this path to actually grow a successful business, because this is indeed my first business, actually, the lead
That's
gen
fucking sick. That's
agency.
fucking sick. That's fire.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you decided to start a lead gen agency. You're like, okay, damn, like this is what we're gonna do. After a few years of trial and error, and you started on it, and this was 12 months ago, right?
Yeah.
How did everything kick off? How did like if the first few months? How did that go by with it?
Yeah. I mean, so I started the agency after I joined AV. So for me, the first stage was getting my head down and actually studying for the first 2 months, listening or like kind of observing the chats in the Slack, kind of what other people are doing, going through the Notion portal that is, constantly being updated. So with the change of the landscape in the email space, you kind of need to stay on track and you need to learn new things. So the first 2 months for me was just like kind of getting adapted to the whole landscape. So yeah, a lot of studying, a lot of brainstorming, what my niche is, who I approach, what my offer is, etc., and how do I actually deliver the service, you know. So yeah, I did 2 months of studying, and then I got my first client literally 2 weeks after doing my first cold email campaign.
Damn.
So technically, if I started on day one with my cold email campaigns when I joined AV, I would have gotten my first client 2 weeks after joining the program. However, I was brand new, so I had to study before.
Yeah.
But yeah, two weeks to get my first client, and then after that, I used that client to learn how to do service delivery, learn how to communicate with clients, learn how to handle the legal side of it, and use the results to get more clients like them, basically.
That's sick. You also took like a pretty, I wouldn't say like a different path, but like for sure a smart path. Something that a lot of people don't do. It's like immediately when you started by joining AV. It's like you didn't try to go at it alone. Um, what made you do that? What made you make the investment or make the commitment? Okay, boom, let's start off with immediately joining AV. What was your thought process there? What were you trying to get out of it?
Yeah. So as a member of the Gen Z generation, I I suffer from shiny object syndrome. And before AV, every business that I tried, I didn't make any commitment in
Hmm.
regards to like actual financial commitment or time commitment. And I knew for a fact that since my capital was scarce, I wasn't rich. Since my capital was scarce, I knew that if I put a substantial part of it in a program, there is no going back from
Yeah,
that decision. And I know a lot of people from looking at your other interviews were in a similar situation. And I genuinely put a big part of my income at the time in this endeavor, just because I knew for a fact the people who pay the most attention.
yeah.
And I wanted to be the person who pays the most attention.
It's fucking sick. That is smart. And it's like you're pretty much like placing a bet on yourself by making the investment. It's like, because if you didn't believe that you're actually going to stick through it, like you would never do it. So pretty
Yeah,
much forcing yourself to actually take full advantage of it. So that's fucking smart as hell. But that's super sick. Amazing. You start off, you join AV, you start the Legion agency. And now 12 months later, how has the journey gone? What kind of things have you achieved and learned? I think that's like a big part. Like, what do you think has changed the most in the way how you approach business or just life in general over these 12 months?
definitely my patience. Out of everything that I actually, the first thought when you asked me this question was my patience.
Mhm.
Like I just learned that things don't happen fast. Fast results are not guaranteed, and fast money is lost in a fast manner as well.
Yeah.
So I learned that during these 12 months, I needed to stay persistent, but mostly I needed to stay patient. And as I said, like I got my first client, and I didn't necessarily start to do more sales after I got my first client. I actually got my head down and I learned how to do service delivery. 2 months after that, so I was not making almost any money. 2 months after getting my first client, then I was like, okay, I got the case study. I know how to deliver the service itself. Now it's time to scale. And I leaned back on sales. So basically, yeah, it's a lot of patience and it's a lot of kind of balance between sales and actual service delivery for me because I do sales, I reach a certain point and then I kind of have to stop unless I want to kind of destroy everything and then kind of rebuild that.
Yeah.
I know Sam Ovens talks about this concept and I live by it. Um, so yeah, for me, it's just been a gradual staircase of progress between these 12 months and the community obviously has been awesome. I've gotten so many deals actually from inside the community, which is maybe something we can touch upon. But uh, yeah, I mean, last month we did 12.3K, which
Nice.
for someone who literally a year ago was doing like 5 times less that amount, um, it's crazy. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's fucking massive. And the great thing about it is I think like, yeah, you can like go and you can fucking like you said, you can get like fast results, etc. But those are also lost in a fast manner. But I think also like one massive thing that I have seen from just talking with you a lot, of course, and all these things, like you have also built like a really fucking strong skill and really strong like marketing acumen by doing it because you have actually focused a lot on the service delivery. So you almost have like this guarantee, like if everything were to disappear, like you can't lose this skill, unless like everything changes and you don't change with it and adapt. But yeah, it's like that's fucking fire. How has this changed your life? Like building a business, doing 12.3K. It's like, have you seen any impact in your life or in anything from that?
Yeah. So to give you kind of the context behind my answer, I come from a family that is not particularly wealthy.
Hmm.
And when you're growing up in an environment like that, you have false money beliefs.
Mm.
And all your life, you cannot afford this, we cannot buy this is too expensive, etc., etc. Bullshit. So what this changed basically was my whole idea around money and that I am capable and I am worthy of charging high prices because I know the value in myself and someone saying 5K is too much to charge or something like that is too expensive, I don't even think about it twice anymore. Like if I'm confident in what I'm setting, I'm gonna push that price because I know the value in the service. So what this changed for me is definitely the confidence and definitely removing my imposter syndrome. Even though with new offers, when I'm iterating my own offer and when I'm adding new components, there is a part of the imposter syndrome coming to the surface. However, it has greatly reduced because I remember when I started doing sales, I didn't have any sales experience beforehand when I landed my first client. And I obviously, as a first deal, it was pretty shitty. But
Yeah.
now as time goes on, I started charging retainers, started charging high retainers as well with partners in AV. And yeah, I just don't feel like I have that fear anymore. Like
Mhm.
if I just talk to the right people with the right budgets, why should I feel like an imposter? Because I know that's gonna bring them money and make their lives easier.
Agree, agree. And so many people in the
Yeah.
industry are fucking focused on so much of the like surface level shit, just getting the quick deal and then figuring out later. It's like when you have people or when you are someone who actually focus on the service delivery, focus on like right marketing fundamentals, understanding actually how to make these client offers sell and work and get them leads, is like it would be silly for you not to charge a lot of money for it because in the end you are so much better than most. Which is super sick. You also mentioned this. I think this is like super interesting, and this is also what you mentioned in the beginning. It's like you said that you had a lot of false beliefs around the topic of money, and I think this is like a massive, massive, massive thing that is holding a lot of people back, especially in the beginning stages. But it's something that is like reoccurring. Like you get to 50, you get to 100,000 a month. It's like you're still gonna have some of these false beliefs. How did you yourself like manage to work through these? How did you identify them and how did you change your beliefs around these topics?
Well, definitely sales. I mean, it has to be sales
Yeah.
because I go out there as someone who's brand new to the space and I start selling a service that I'm not in the beginning very confident of because I didn't know if I can deliver it. But after a certain amount of time passes, um, as I said, I get reassured that this is valuable, and that kind of removes the false money belief that I had, because I know that I have something of extreme value here. So I think it was a gradual process, and it's definitely an effect from sales,
Yeah, 100%.
definitely because of sales.
100%. Do you still find yourself finding these limiting beliefs? It might not even be around money, but are you still like actively identifying new limiting beliefs and trying to work through them, or how do you approach these things now?
Yeah, when we're adding new offers, if we're doing sales optimization or building new funnels that I haven't particularly have much experience in, I would have some uncertainty, but nowadays I just try to bring in someone who's good at that.
Mhm.
Because what I realized also from you is that, you speak a lot about finding the right people. And I think as a business owner, I have to realize that there's way smarter people than me out there. So I could leverage their knowledge and get the business going and grow the business. So my main focus right now is to grow the business and find talented people who can fulfill the service. And I believe that's the natural progression of it, basically. So yeah,
100%.
I mean, I still feel uncertain when we're doing new stuff like that, but I feel like with the right people, that uncertainty kind of disappears.
100%. What kind of how is your agency set up right now? Do you have a team? What kind of people are you working with? How is everything set up there on your end?
Yeah. So well, basically now I work with 8 companies, and half of them are actually with partners from AV that we
That's
have
sick.
partnered up with to do these projects. It's insane. Um, the other 4 I handle them purely with my own company. So we basically have someone who now handles the inbox management, so we don't have to care about that. We have a lot of automations. So I brought an ops guy from the same office that I work in, actually, who started a lead gen agency, and he is really good in ops. And I said, hey, could you like completely automate my business? He did that. So he helped me kind of begin that journey. And it's been much easier to kind of give away that work now to employees such as the inbox manager, because when everything is streamlined, your employees have full clarity on what has to happen. And I feel like that just makes the whole process easier. Because if someone doesn't perform, if something breaks, I blame it on myself,
Yeah.
because that's a lack of organization on my part. So yeah, for me it's been mostly automation. So not so many. I don't have like many employees. I just have someone doing the list building, someone doing the inbox management and automations. But I leave the actual copywriting and the actual AI enrichments to myself, because I like to be in the creative part of the business, if you will.
100%. That's smart. I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but I think it's like really interesting thing. It's like how much do you think, or how big of an impact being in AV has had in your journey? Like obviously you're a smart dude, and like 100% like you would have built something sick by yourself. There's no doubt about it. But what kind of an impact do you think it has had on your journey, in your progress, or in anything? The fact that you joined AV when you started on this journey.
Well, I mean, you get to the location 10 times faster. So for me, the first destination was 10K, the most kind of out there goal there is. But yeah, it is a fact that, it's a number that a lot of people look up to. And
Yeah.
if I was doing it on my own, I would just repeat the same pattern that I was repeating with the other businesses that I wanted to start. So I would get inspired to do something, and then that would disappear. However, with the community in AV, I realized that there is no such thing as inspiration. There is actually just raw intention. And in this community, when I go inside, I see these people. They're not inspired.
Yeah.
I think they're just so obsessed with what they're doing. You kind of can't fall behind. So when I first joined AV, it was more so a fact that I saw all these people succeeding, and I knew for a fact that I was capable of replicating that success to an extent. So you cannot be the only person in the room that's not winning.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the community effect.
That's
That's the
super sick.
difference.
How have you otherwise found the community? Obviously, you guys, for some reason, we have a lot of fucking killers from Denmark. So obviously, you guys are able to meet up there. You just had like a great lunch there, eating some fucking some Danish dish, confusing looking plates. And you've been to the events, you've been and you met a lot of people. How have you seen this like impact your journey and your business? Has it been great? How have you felt about it?
It definitely broadened my horizons on what's possible because when I saw people like you, Rob, it's one thing to speak on video and watch you guys on YouTube and in the community, but to actually meet you guys and have these conversations and like go into these actual topics that we're discussing and even deeper to realize that there is a human being on the other side who is as passionate, even more than you. Um, that has been incredibly valuable to me, meeting wonderful people in Tallinn, in Oslo. I mean, we ran a marathon. Like, what are we speaking about? Like, I would never do that on my own.
Same, same.
So it's crazy that from an idea, you get so AV is like this group of people where one guy has a phenomenal idea, and then 50 people immediately just agree to it and are like, yes, we're gonna do it. And not only we're gonna do it, we've already done it in our heads. We just need to do it now in like the real world. So when you spoke about the marathon, I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it, but now I need to train and like run 500 kilometers to prepare for it. But we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
Like no question about it. No question about it. And that's the community that's inside AV. It's just people that know for a fact they're gonna do what they said they're gonna do.
that's fucking beautifully said. I think that like fucking puts it together super well. And I think that was also super cool in the marathon. It's like if you look at like marathon finish rates and how many people like give up, get injured during it. We had like I think we had 16 people run, and a lot of them run without much training or much running experience, and everyone fucking finished. I think that's like super fucking well said because I think that's like the most impressive part about it. Super fire. Last question that I have for you is how likely would you recommend Age Velocity Mastermind to other people? There might be someone watching it right now thinking, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I should pull the trigger. Who do you think would be a good fit for AV and why should they do it if you recommend it?
Yeah. So who would be a good fit? It would be someone who is passionate about solving problems, is passionate about growing their network, and is passionate about growing a successful business. So first of all, to accomplish the last two parts, you have to be someone who wants to solve a problem. And I feel like in AV, every day we're solving problems for our customers and for ourselves. So yeah, if you feel like you have the shiny object syndrome, which is completely normal, everyone, I'm 23 years old, everyone in our age experiences that. There's always a new thing on the block. However, there's problems in business that are constant, and lead generation is a constant problem that businesses have, no matter what happens with AI and the landscape. That's just a hard fact. So if you want to solve an actual problem in the actual business world, then definitely AV is the place for it. And if you want to be surrounded by killers who, as I said, when they say something, they actually follow through and they actually do it 100% of the times, then AV is the community for you.
That's fucking well said. Thank you, man, so much. Um, Anything you have to add? What if there's a software company looking at this video right now and they want to get some more leads? Where can they get some help?
Yeah, so visit vergelead.com and also my channel at Borisław Nekezov. You're gonna find videos of me just yapping about code email, especially for software development offers, which is hard to sell by itself. So if you don't have any experience, then just look at my YouTube channel because I'm really starting to push content there, and I believe it's gonna help a lot of people, especially in the software space. And yeah, there you're gonna find links for my website, and you can just book a call and we can have a discovery session.
It's fucking fire. Amazing. I'm going to be linking the channel down in the description as well. Go check it out. Some really, really good stuff. And yeah, fucking thank you, man, for being here. It has been a huge pleasure. And of course, if anyone is interested in joining Agent Velocity Mastermind, the links is going to be somewhere. If you can't find the link, you're not fit, you know? You should be able to find it anywhere. Amazing. But thank you, Borislaw. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for hosting me, Leevi.